Oh, hello there. So today we're going to be covering the personal story side of Guild Wars 2. I'm going to be talking on and off, I think, as a lot of the personal story is based in dialogue, and I'm going to shut up for that because my words will not mix well with that, and I want you to hear it. Personal story is one of the main ways you can level up in Guild Wars 2.
The lake's indigenous creatures were dangerous enough. Now it's a full-on death trap. Quick, fire up that bow, Ed, and let's find what we came for before they do.
Unlike pretty much every other part of the game, you do it alone. Due to this, I didn't think it would be my favorite part of the game, because when I play an MMO, I want to play with other people. I never really want to play a single-player game when I'm in an MMO. It doesn't make much sense to me. I'm going to try and forget for a while all that, because I just want to look behind it and without blurred vision.
There's an antiquity in that lake that the Inquest wants. Hit the water and dive down deep. Flip over every algae-coated rock if you have to, and crush anyone or anything that gets in your way. Whoever finds that artifact gets bumped up a pay grade. Fail, and you'll get thrown down a well to practice underwater reclamation. Move out!
That's a lot of Inquest trash polluting the water. I'll be surprised if all the fish don't go belly up. We've definitely got some competition.
Competition? More like distraction. Come on, let's find the artifact. Any Inquest cranial cracking that occurs will be pure bonus.
Anyway, I'm gonna, like I said, look past what I have in terms of distaste for the thing. The personal story is tailored to your character and based on some decisions you make upon character creation. The decisions and stories are different for each race. As for my Asura Ranger, my story so far is based on finding and using some artifacts. You do this using some machine that apparently you and your team invented. This makes sense as the Asura are basically, as I've said before, just a bunch of nerds. A bunch of science geeks, and they invent all kinds of things, and that's their role in the game. The twist to all of this is that the evil Inquisition is looking for the same artifacts that you are. So you have to fight them for it. As you see here, we're fighting underwater a bit, but we are getting owned because these guys are way outnumbering us. So we, instead of fighting for long, are probably just going to have to run away. The way the story is played is in short segments. You go to the segment in question in the main game world, and then enter an instance. All these instances actually exist in the world, but it's a different section, it's a different instance where there's no other players in it. I've actually criticized this before because I don't really like that.
Alright, that's 2 pieces of the artifact in our hands. And from the look of it, there's only one more piece to collect. Looks as if the missing piece is the same size and shape as the one they stole from us in the first place.
Then the only question is, how do we retrieve it? They'll definitely return to their base to study the artifact. That gives us 2 avenues of attack. 1, we intercept them on the road. 2, we wait until they get it home and then break in while they feel secure. It's your device.
As you can see here, we actually have a choice. The story will sometimes offer you choices. Here, our choice is between going and ambushing a group on the road or going to their base to defeat them. In this case, I'm going to pick to ambush them on the road, but both of these would offer separate missions, and I really find that interesting. But as I was saying before this, I don't really like the fact that it is instance. I think that it could have been done just as well if they had done this stuff in the main world where other players can help you out, and just mashed it together. I think it would have been a better game if they had done that, but we'll never know. Oh well. The difficult part of the game can be the combat. The combat is difficult because it scales you down to the level of whatever you're playing at. And that is a great thing in the game, and that's in other parts of the game too, but I really noticed it here because it offers some serious challenge. Fortunately, often in the story mode, you will have NPCs to help you out, so that relieves some of the challenge, and it makes it manageable. The different things that you can do in the game other than combat usually involve gathering something, such as the artifacts, or perhaps you can solve some kind of puzzle. To get in this building we're looking at in question right now, I had to solve a weird puzzle that I didn't really understand. I just pressed some random buttons until it opened the door. It made me kind of hack into a terminal and then do some kind of emotional thing. I didn't really get it. Apparently when I laughed, it opened the door. I do not know why. But all that thrown out of the way, the actual quality of the story is hit and miss, I guess. There is some pretty cheesy stuff here and there, but I don't mind that necessarily. The voice acting is generally pretty good, so I don't really have any complaints there. The plot itself, for me, is so far somewhat simple, but somewhat interesting. The story is meant to be played alongside the main game, with its dynamic quests and world PvP. You can either jump into the story when you're high enough level to do so, or you can take a particular section you're at and stockpile levels to do a bunch of those sections at once. So say you just don't do any for all 80 levels, or maybe you don't do any of the story for the first 70 levels, and then you can do your last 10 levels just doing the story, and it will be like doing the whole leveling experience over again, because it will scale you down to level 1 and go you all the way up to level 70 again, or rather up to level 80. They do offer a lot of experience, as they are far and few in between. I think that's its saving grace for me, actually. As expected, the personal story is not my favorite part of the game. However, I don't really mind doing it for a few minutes here and there.
Security. Why do you look so concerned? Don't tell us we caught you with your pants down.
On the contrary, my pants are securely fastened. Don't act so smug. I've been one step ahead of you since we met, and now I'm about to step on your heads. Your artifact is safely here, and now I get to kill you all without leaving the room. It's like a free victim delivery service.
It's not free, Teo. Stealing my crew's hard work is going to cost you a lot.
I think because it's not a huge part of the game and you can do it whenever you want and only if you want, I will be doing the story here and there for a few minutes here and there, or maybe one section at a time, each few game sessions that I play. So for that reason, overall, I believe this to be a really fun experience that I don't recommend you ignore. I recommend you try it out, see if it's part of your taste, and then maybe play it all the way through. It is good experience if you're focused on just power leveling, so if you're doing that, definitely pick it up. Otherwise, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more like this in the future, please subscribe. Next up, I'm going to be doing a video about structured PvP in the game. And then I will also be putting out a video about the skill system in the game. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Help? I don't have long. We got what we came for. Teo's piece makes 3 out of 3. They fit together perfectly. Now, what do you think it is?
That's easy. I'd recognize this design aesthetic anywhere. What we're looking at is a key to a certain ancient genius's lab. Ever heard of Gad?
Of course. I learned all about him in my studies at the College of Statics. He was one of the best. And this is the key to his old lab?
The lab that no one's been able to open in over 200 years. And we're going to be the first ones to see what's inside since old Gad himself.
The Voed continues to deliver. Meet me at Gad's lab, and we'll see what a historic genius wanted to keep for himself.